Hello, everyone.
Hi.
This is Sarah and Ginny.
And Oliver Clark.
Don't forget the little doggy. We decided tonight just to create a short video about Shine Our Light, the new support group that we have decided to start and create. And we wanted to just have like a quick conversation with you about if you had any questions about what the support group's going to look like, logistically, why we started it. And so if you have any questions about the support group, Shine Our Light at all, post some comments or questions below, and we're just gonna have a quick conversation here about what it is. So Ginny had the idea to start the support group, and she invited me to go on this journey with her. And of course I was on board immediately, and because we have all struggled, having my business in The Assertive Woman is all about women speaking their voice, setting boundaries, finding that power within themselves to express who they are. And Ginny can speak for her struggles too of what she's had to struggle with as well. And so can you share a little bit about us, like your inspiration for Shine Our Light, the support group?
Yes. So as I have been embarking on my own healing journey, I have really struggled with this whole concept of self-love, self-compassion, self-acceptance. And as I started to as I was on the healing journey, initially a lot of my journey began through addiction. And so I was introduced to the 12-step program through that. And what I started to recognize was that the 12 steps, as you navigate life using them, it's not just about addiction. That I could really see that there were a lot of ways that incorporating this 12-step ideology in life could serve anyone, because regardless if you're an addict or you're just struggling with life circumstances and how to live life on its terms, the 12 steps are just this core way of navigating life in a more less need to control, taking life as it comes, just finding a more peaceful, joyful way to exist. And so I thought, I just want people to be able to find this self-love and all of that through this journey, this healing journey, but to have a step program to help them do that, because I think a lot of times we struggle. There's so many different ways to get self-help. There's all these books out there, all these things, and I thought, what's easier than following steps, literally guiding you how to navigate your life, and that's kind of what inspired it.
Yeah, and Shine Our Light, the support group, is not only for addicts,
Exactly,
or for shoppers or gamblers. It's really for everyone and anyone that struggles with something.
Yes.
So for example, correct me if I'm wrong, step 1 is I admit that I'm powerless over blank.
Yes.
And we get to fill in the blank.
Yes.
So if it's for the assertive woman kind of realm, if you struggle with I am now powerless over a lack of self-love, then you can create that using the steps.
Yes.
So
totally.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it, is that you can, whatever your whether it's a struggle or it's just anything. I mean, you just think about if you're having issues with your children or with your husband. I mean, you're navigating life, right? Or you're navigating relationships. We have to recognize that we're powerless. We can't change another person. We can't make our children do what we want them to do. And yes, so exactly, anything can be filled into that spot, because bottom line is we all deal with something, because that's life.
Yes, exactly. So we were also talking about how there may be a lot of people that have never done a 12-step program.
Yeah.
And that when you think of 12-step program, you think of AA, you think of someone that's an addict. So we're kind of trying to break that shell, or basically saying that anyone and everyone can use the 12 steps. But for someone that's I've never gone through the 12-step personally, which is why I'm excited, because I'm going to be going through this with everyone as well.
Oh,
Ginny's going to be like doing all the steps again. So we're all going to be doing this together. But for the people that are still not sure about the 12 steps or what that is, where this may be their first jump into it, can you give them a little maybe like explanation of like you've done through the 12 steps and what is it like,
Okay.
and what benefit would they have for just taking that leap of faith and just trying it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think what is important, obviously, is that yes, there were a couple of alcoholics many years ago that began the AA, and that's where the 12 steps have come from. And we obviously always want to recognize and acknowledge that, because that's where it originated. And everything follows beyond that. So I want to make sure that I say that yes, it began there. But what a lot of different 12-step programs have stemmed from that initial beginning of an alcoholic version. CODA, codependency, Overeating Anonymous, all of that. So there's so many different programs that have branched off of this 12-step program, and the reason being is with the 12 steps, basically, again, it's kind of inviting us to recognize that we cannot control things that happen. There's only certain things that we can control, but there's a lot of life that we cannot, that we own up to that powerlessness, like you said. And then basically, as you're doing these steps, you start to learn more about yourself. You start to learn, what are my personal character defects? How are certain things that I'm doing in life setting up circumstances and creating circumstances that have become unmanageable? What is my part in that? Okay, well, now what can I do to possibly change that? How can I heal and grow in order to be able to create a better life for myself? It's a lot about forgiveness. I think a lot of us struggle to forgive people that have hurt us, right? I mean, especially old, really deep wounds. And then for me personally, I've really struggled to forgive myself. And I think that's where Shine Our Light is really, really important. And that's why it is so focused on self-love, self-compassion, self-acceptance. Because oftentimes I think so many of us are walking around with shame of some sort, whether we've been an addict or not. We know we've made mistakes, or we or even people have shamed us, and we listen to the voices of the bullying from childhood that's telling us that we're garbage, whatever that is. But we carry this darkness inside of us, and so we'll use the light analogy. There's this dark heavy that's in us, and what Shine Our Light is inviting us to do is to work this program, learn more about ourselves, own our stuff, but not be ashamed of it. To just recognize that yes, we're all broken in some way, but there is no shame in it, and it's that part of ourselves that actually makes us special. And if we didn't have those mistakes we've made, we wouldn't have the opportunity to grow. So it's a way to invite healing by looking at your baggage and your brokenness, but seeing it as beautiful, because your brokenness is what makes you authentically you, and that's again what invites healing and growth, and that's what allows us to step out of the dark and to shine our light. And then I think what's so beautiful about it is, like the healing community, we're doing it together. We're doing it with others. We're inviting others. We're owning our stuff, so that we're then, if I share my deep dark secrets with you, that inspires you to feel safe to share yours with me or with someone. And so again, it becomes, and that's a real big thing with any step work, you'll always see it's we. We acknowledge we. It's a together. It's a community, because that's what stepping out of the dark is. You have to step out and own it in front of other people. Addicts, what we do is we hide in the closet, and we try and hide what we've done, or we hide our darkness, or we hide our whatever it is. You don't have to be an addict to have dark places.
So true. So true.
So and what's so beautiful is if we can get people to find healing. What if we're maybe being able to help people not become an addict because they find healing before they even go to that next step?
Exactly.
So does that that kind of sum it up?
Yes,
okay.
It does. And I'm glad you touched too on like sharing together, like this is a we thing, because we also wanted to share a little bit about what the group will actually look like. So when you join the Zoom link that's going to be on Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, I think we've had around 30 people sign up via the survey link, so that's
just so great.
Awesome. So once you join the Zoom link, depending on how many people show up, we'll probably, the first day, we'll probably just have, just again, introducing ourselves, telling the group about basically what you just said, kind of like
Yeah.
what the group is,
Yeah.
why we're here.
Yeah, meet and greet.
Yeah, meet and greet. We'll probably have like a 1-minute intro for everyone that joins. And also, the way that you were saying that 12-step programs, the way the meetings kind of work is that you don't need to share if you don't want to.
Never. You're never obligated to do anything. You can just sit there and listen.
Yeah. So you can sit there and listen, just, come and absorb the healing, vibes from everyone. But of course you can share if you'd like. And also we were thinking about limiting the crosstalk. So in 12-step meetings, it's kind of like you just share and then people don't give you advice or they don't really reply to you at all. It's more of like, because you were saying that if people give you advice or be like, oh, that happened to me this time, it's kind of like, it's almost like, well, you can probably explain it. Like, why does the 12-step limit the crosstalk?
Okay.
Yeah.
What I was always kind of taught in the meetings that I was in, this all made perfect sense, was I think a lot of times the reason that people don't want to step out of the dark and don't want to share is because they are worried about the judgment. They're worried about the advice, because sometimes that advice can feel like judgment. Yeah, so it's
Okay.
so I think what's so important is when you have like no crosstalk allowed and you just allow people to share, it's just a safe space for them to speak their truth,
Right.
and not be worried that someone is going to lash out
Right.
or whatever. Like that, you just don't. You don't have to have a conversation about it. You can just
Right.
spill your stuff and then that's it.
Okay.
And just getting it out sometimes is all you need to do. And then if they want to, I do think it's important to say though that even, and I know we've talked about this, in the meetings themselves, we don't want to have crosstalk. We want to, keep that as kind of one of the rules. But that doesn't mean that you can't build relationships in these groups.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
And then outside of the groups, outside of these Zoom meetings that we're having, go deeper with people. Find a friend, find somebody that has a common thread, is struggling with the same issues or whatever, and then you build that relationship and then you work together through that, so then you
Right.
can have that crosstalk.
Exactly. So we're not saying like, oh, you can't talk to anyone else in the group, but like during the meetings, that's just kind of how the 12-step meetings are run. But any other time, like reach out to each other, message each other, get an accountability buddy from the group or outside the group, anything like that. You can invite your friends to the group if they're interested in joining the Shine Our Light support group as well.
Yep.
And of course, there's nothing to buy. It's completely free. We do have resources if you'd like to go deeper. And I know you have some workbooks here.
Yeah.
That if you're interested in going deeper, we can provide more information.
Yep.
But for this group specifically, we're not requiring you to buy anything, and it's totally free. So I think that was kind of all.
Yeah, I think
other
pretty
thoughts?
much. I think, and I mean, I think another thing that maybe might be a good thing just to kind of touch on is, there's like I know that there's a couple of Bible verses that are listed on the website and all of that, and so what I think I really wanted to kind of impress on everyone is this is not necessarily a Bible study.
Okay.
This is a healing community, and we're not pushing a belief system on anybody per se. I mean, this is about building a deeper relationship with yourself, with others, and with God. But at the same time, it's not about religion. This is about relationship. And so I just really want people to understand that you're coming here to have your journey, whatever that is for you. And we are not here to dictate what that's going to be. We're not here to tell you what to believe. We are just here to offer love and support and guidance. And again, I think everybody's journey is going to be very personal for themselves. And I think that's really important that people understand that
Yeah.
we're not here to tell you
Right.
how to feel, what to believe, anything. We're just here to guide and
Yeah.
don't you think?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, because I think we chatted about how sometimes the 12-step people are 12-step group kind of turns people off because they think it's about God or but it's really not. Like, it's you connect to yourself and to a higher power, but your higher power can be like a tree. Like So I think what we had chatted about too was that whatever your higher power means for you, and whatever journey it is that you end up going on.
Correct.
So
Even though we may be basing ours, like we may be more focused in one area, but that doesn't mean that has to be for you. Any type of healing that you can find through this program is authentically yours, because really it is between you and God. So
yeah.
we're just here to facilitate.
Yep, exactly. So I think if you have any questions, let us know in the comments. But I think that was kind of what we wanted to cover today. And we will probably be doing more live videos or more videos as time goes on. But Wednesday, December 9th, 5 p.m. Pacific time, join us. Look for the Zoom link in the group, and we will see you then.
Looking forward to meeting everyone.
All right.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.